It stopped going down. I don't care if it's out of focus. I don't care about any of that. It stopped going down and it sat here. This is sped up like super fast. All right.
Okay.
And it stopped going down. And what's going on? It's not going down. Are we spinning or is it, what the hell happened?
It just faded away.
It didn't have enough energy to push any farther. It's moving away at 1,000 miles an hour. And so it just disappeared into the soup of the atmosphere. Things will disappear into the distance. You can't see the Eiffel Tower from New York because it's too small, but because it's there's too much air in the way. The air becomes opaque.
Codega is a guide and a storyteller, escorting you through the night, lighting the way, warding off thieves, ghosts, demons, and other oddities. Along the journey, his companions would often share with him the most curious of stories that he'd record in his Codex. Perhaps you just might find yourself traveling with the Codega and sharing one of yours.
Click that like. If you're new here, subscribe and have the bell hit for notifications to stay up to date on all of the new content. In the mid-19th century, a man named Samuel Robotham conducted what would become one of the most famous experiments in flat Earth history, known as the Bedford Level Experiment. It took place along a straight 6-mile stretch of the old Bedford River in Cambridgeshire, England, where Robotham believed he could prove the Earth was flat. Using a telescope and a pole, Robotham observed a boat with a flag sailing away from him. According to the globe model, the boat should have gradually disappeared from view as it followed the curvature of the Earth. But to Robotham's surprise, and to the surprise of those watching, the boat remained visible for the entire 6 miles. He concluded this was a clear evidence that the Earth was flat, since the boat did not dip below the horizon as expected. This experiment became a cornerstone of the flat Earth movement and is still cited today by many who question the globe model. Robotham's legacy remains a key chapter in the ongoing debate over the shape of our planet. And that's where I come in. I'm Rai, the Codega, your guide through the strange, the mysterious, and the curious. Whether it's cryptids, UFOs, or hidden realms, we explore the secrets of the world that just keeps out of sight. Tonight, we're tackling a hot topic. That, no matter how many conspiracies you're open to, this seems to be the hardest pill to swallow. Flat Earth theory isn't just controversial, it's the one that most people run from. Even among those who question everything, this idea often feels like the line they won't cross. But tonight, we're going there. Joined by Flat Earth Dave, we're going to unravel why he believes, and I'm starting to as well, the Earth is not a globe, but a flat plane. Buckle up, because this is bound to challenge everything you thought you knew about the world around you. That was a terrible little pun. But with that, I'm going to jump right into it and bring Flat Earth Dave on. Flat Earth Dave, I'd like to say welcome to the Codex of Curiosities.
Thanks. Nice intro. You kind of laid it all out there. This is the conspiracy that nobody wants to look at.
It is. And even for myself, when I was, when I first got into conspiracies, 9/11 was probably my primer into this all. That was the big eye opener. And even when it happened, I didn't question it. I was still believing it until someone actually said, "Hey, why don't you watch this documentary?" And turned it on, and I started seeing the truth.
Loose Change, probably, right?
That was one of them. He gave me two. He gave me Loose Change, and then he also recommended Kymatica by Benjamin Stewart, and that was a very interesting one as well.
Yeah. So when I was into, people say, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." No, I'm a conspiracy analyst. I'm a realist, and when you look at the official story for 9/11, let's talk about 9/11 just for a second. It's that's the conspiracy theory. There's absolutely no proof. It's impossible. It's literally a story from Narnia, and it makes no sense when you look at it. If you tell someone the official story, here's the official story of Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. It crashed at such an angle, at such a high speed that the ground liquefied, swallowed the plane, and then re-solidified, and they can't dig it out. That's the official story.
That is that is the biggest joke I've ever heard. Yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
People will say, I don't believe that, but they still believe it. Like, that's the official story. That's not our story. We would never come up with something that's stupid, right? So I was doing a podcast in New York City called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking into all sorts of conspiracies. And the episode 1, this was done at it was done at Stand Up New York Labs, a new podcast studio above Stand Up New York Comedy Club. And they wanted podcasts that had a little bit of comedy in them. So my friend Tim and I were the truth seekers, and Mike, the third co-host, was the comedian that tried to turn everything into a fart joke, essentially. And episode 1 was 9/11, right? This is in New York City, right? So check us out. We do this. We're doing the podcast. We're sitting around this table doing the whole podcast for 2 hours. And then when we were done, I looked out and the whole back of the studio was filled with all the executives. People had their holding their heads. They're like, what the hell just happened? Like, nobody in New York City knows anything. Like, and the name of that episode was 9/11 is Dave's Baby. So you rang a chord with me when you brought up 9/11, because that was my first big podcast. And it's a dowser. So long story short, or short story long, in the third year of the podcast, people started sending me flat earth stuff. Dave, have you looked into this? You know, I looked into all the conspiracies and broke them all open. And when I heard flat earth, I just like delete, banned, you're banned. You can never comment again. You're too stupid to listen to our podcast. And then I was forced to look by my friend Sophia Smallstorm, another researcher who did 9/11 mysteries. You might have seen that one.
I have not actually seen that one.
A really, really, really good one. And she forced me to look. And as a good truth seeker, no, I wasn't a good truth seeker. I went in to disprove it. I'm like, I don't want to know the truth. I want to prove the globe and disprove flat earth and shut these flat-tards up. And for 2 weeks, I'm like, what the F is going on? And the more I look, the deeper the hole goes. And when you look, you know, you said at the beginning of this podcast, you're starting to believe. Gun to your head right now, flat or round. 3, 2, 1, you're dead.
I would say when I first started looking into this as well, this was back in about 2020, because I have nothing else better to do. And I joined a flat earth group because my buddy was like, man, you got to get a hold of this. This is some funny stuff and you can make fun of these guys. You can troll them. And I was like, yeah, I'm in for that. Let's do this. So I went in and I started reading, and a lot of stuff started making sense, unfortunately. And my whole world, and this is what I've always said, that we have to let a piece of us die. We always have to let some part of us die so that we can be, move on. And that night, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep at all that night. And I started
I haven't slept in like 15 years. Okay.
And then I started having this conversation with this one gentleman, and he starts making sense to me. And I'm like, how can this make sense when I've ever, this is a joke, but it's not. It is not.
Yeah.
The biggest joke has been played on us.
A piece of you has to die. Like when somebody does something wrong yesterday, something small in their life, it's hard for many people to admit it, for them to go, oh yeah, I was wrong, right? Just a little something. But when you say everything that you've ever thought of in your life, every fantasy you've had about outer space, every movie you've ever watched is all about Narnia. It's all fake. None of it's real. And you put your heart into that. A lot of people can't handle that. It's like taking a ball away from a child. Try taking a ball away from a grown man. Okay. It's not easy. The ego is what's left, but is really hard to break through on some people. But people like you're right there. You're on the edge. When I say to somebody, do you think the earth is flat or a globe? If they say, well, boom, I'm like, you're done. You're finished. You're on the flat side. If they have any hesitation, but normally people just go, most people, less and less now, they go, of course it's a globe, right? Those are the ignorant ones. I'm not being insultive. Ignorance is you don't know something, therefore you're ignorant to it. Everything I don't know, I'm ignorant to. And so people out of ignorance and stubbornness and ego will cling on to their ball. and they'll defend it even though they don't know anything about it. What's the radius? What's the circumference? How fast is it orbiting? How far is it from the sun? How did they figure that out? They don't know any of that, but they'll defend it. Okay? It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It extremely is, you know, and like all we ever have to go on are pictures that are digitally remastered or digitally produced by NASA. You know, and there's no other evidence that we have to go on other than we're just being told this. And then, of course, the biggest thing that's always told is, well, there's too many people. Someone would be giving, would be giving it away.
Yeah, I've done 1,300 podcasts in interviews and since 2021. I'm talking about it every day. But people, you know, you have to get to people. People, you know, the information's being hidden from you. YouTube is censoring everything. You Google flat Earth, you find all garbage gets fed to you. You get all nonsense. You get stuff that'll just make you walk away. You mentioned Robotham in your opening, and the normie, the globalist, or the ignorant person to the truth will be like, oh, 6 miles. That's not, the Earth is so big. We've been programmed. The Earth is so big, you can't see the curvature because you're like a microbe on a basketball, right? That we've been programmed with that one. But we can see boats go over the horizon, right? It's so big, except when they want it not to be too big, right? So 6 miles, there's a decent amount of curve, and Robotham was able to see that flag. But guess what? That was a long time ago. The Globers' best arguments are, hey, this guy 100 years ago did this. Or look at the lights in the sky, which I call phenomena, because nobody knows what those lights are. Nobody knows how big they are. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows what they are. They don't know anything other than their lights in the sky, right? The moon, which is the most definable thing we can see in the sky, I'm not even sure if it's spherical. I don't even know if it's solid. I don't even think it's physical, right? But we don't know. I can't even make a solid claim about it other than I don't know. It's up there, right? And so just about distances. So the Globers always go to people 100 years. Eratosthenes, 2,000 years ago, he figured it out with sticks and shadows. That's nonsense also. And everything, you know, Kepler and you know, just all this old stuff. That's what they do. Well, let's look at modern day. So here's a guy that went down to this frozen lake. He's got a camera 6 inches off the lake. He put these lights out here at 8, 7, 6, and 5 miles away. Now, with globe math, putting in their magical refraction, this one should be 30 feet below the curve, 22, 15, and 9 feet. But for some reason, they all refract up and they stop right at your eye level. So you can see the globe math. They'll show you pi, calculus, and the you know, this formula and this theorem, and they'll put it all together and say why these are all lining up. Flat Earth will just go, no, they're just right there. they're all right there. I see them. They're right there because the Earth is friggin' flat. We don't need formulas. We don't need calculations. We don't need advanced mathematics. You know, math doesn't prove anything, right?
Yeah.
So you know, they have magical refraction on these globe debunking sites. Like we could see something and we could see it too far away, right? We could see things too far away, like this right now. Here, I'll show you. You familiar with Mount Canigou? No, here's one. This one most people haven't seen. It's hard to see these mountains here, but there's a whole bunch of mountains over here. They're all over 700 miles away, right? From this height, using globe math, they should be over 50 miles. I rounded down. I give the globe the benefit of the doubt every time. 50 miles below the curve. But the globalists will say, well, there's standard refraction and it's refracting it. So, you know, it comes up over the ball, right? You got the ball, something's behind the ball, but it refracts up and then it stops right there for you to see it. But it's not really there. 50 miles of curvature, right? When the fact is they're all just here. And then these mountains over here, which are even farther away, we can still see them. Why don't they refract up into the sky? If they're refracting, let them keep going, right? And they're just there. They're just there. We can just see it. We don't need formulas. We can just see because the Earth is flat.
With our naked eye, we can see this.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It really is. And so, of course, the question is why? Why are we being, you know, inundated with this globe? Why?
Why would they lie?
Yeah.
Why would they lie? Is that your question? that your
Yeah,
question,
why would they
really?
lie about it is really because
No, it's a good
because
question.
I think it is the only question
It's
as
my
to
favorite question.
okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just wondering, why are they telling this lie? Like, I can see some other lies, like 9/11. Yeah, we'll get you to believe it's these people so we can go attack and bomb someone else.
Yeah.
But why a globe instead of just being forthcoming with it's flat?
The reason is,
And this is probably a big speculation as well, but that's okay.
It's beyond. It's at this point, it's beyond speculation. It is
Okay.
the reason. It is the reason. And other, you could say it's speculation, but this is the reason. The reason is, Dave, why are you talking about flat Earth? There's child trafficking, and there's homelessness, and there's wars, and all of these things that are going on in the world, right? Like Palestinians being blown up, and family. It's just like horrible. There's hard atrocities going to war. What difference does the shape make? I still have to go to work on Monday. We've been programmed to say that. All of you had that in your mind when I just said that, right? The shape doesn't matter. It's the lie. It's a who you are, where you are, what this place is, right? And when you discover that the Earth is intelligently designed instead of from a big bang, once upon a time there was nothing and it exploded and became everything. And then then a spark happened and an amoeba happened and it turned into a frog and turned into a fish and it climbed out of the water, found another sexy fish and it turned into a monkey and it turned into a human, right? This is what they want you to believe. This is what they teach you in school, right? And that all happened. So what that does is it dilutes creation. It makes you weak. It makes you lost in space, spinning out of control. And if you're spinning out of control, lost in space, where deep down inside you feel like you're expanding into this nothing universe, you're diluting creation, they can convince you that if you breathe on your grandmother, she's going to die. And they can convince you to do anything. They can convince you that 2 planes knocked down 7 buildings. Amazing. They can convince you that a plane drilled into the ground so deep you can't find it. Okay, you can't dig it out to this very day. They can convince you that an autistic kid has a better shooting record in a school, killing little kids, than any Navy SEAL or a special ops guy had ever done. Right? They can convince you of anything because you're lost in space. So that is why they're hiding God. I said it. They're hiding God because a world where everyone knows there's a creator you can't control them. And so they need you in a situation where you still can deny creation. Flat earthers, none of us deny creation. Deny creation. None of us. Now we could all have Jesus and Muhammad and this, whatever. No, it's within you, whatever. I have my own spiritual views. I know there's a creator, right? I was just watching a video. What was the video? Somebody just sent it to me. It's really, really good. And it's about hidden books in the Bible. It's called We Live in a Lie. And it's, let me just see the name of it. It's the channel is Bible Story is the name of the channel, right? And I'm not a Bible guy, but I am a Bible guy now that I'm a flat earther because the Bible is an amazing instruction book. The ancient truth hidden in the 1775 Bible that proves everything you know is a lie, right? This is right up with the title of your show or what you said. and basically the things that they took out of the Bible, there's so much they took out of the Bible, but the main thing they took out, that God isn't this distant entity that's ruling over you. God is within you. God, you have the kingdom of God within you. And they're like, oh, that's not going to be good for us. We won't be able to control them. We need to be the intermediary between them and God, right? So we can't let them know that it's all in their hands, right? We are part of God. We live in a living system. They say the earth is alive. I used to laugh at that. Oh, the earth is alive. It's a rock. What are you talking about? It's a big ball of dirt. No, the earth is alive. The air is alive. The sky is alive. The lights in the sky, and we're alive, and we're all part of the system. The clouds are alive. Everything's alive. Rocks are alive. It's crazy when you understand what this place is. It's an electrical, incredible creation, and we're all part of it. And the power that you have, they don't want you to know that your thoughts create reality. Your thoughts create reality. Look at your life. Everything in your life, it's your fault.
Yep, it's true.
It's your fault.
I agree. Everything I've created it's my fault, but it's also my creation as well.
That's right. It's your, and so watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. And people get freaked out about that. They're like, just let me watch Netflix, and then whoa, what are you doing? Right. And people are like, well, when I watch my thoughts, it's scary because I'm thinking bad thoughts, right? And so they feel like they're failing. It's like somebody that's trying to meditate, right? And every time they try to meditate, 2 seconds later, their mind is off somewhere else. It's called monkey mind. Happens often, right? Even to experienced meditators. But as soon as you notice it, you've won, because you're like, oh, I noticed it. So now I can go over there. Oh, I noticed I'm thinking a bad thought. I'm thinking a negative thought. I'm thinking something that's going to attract that to me. People are like, I want to be rich. And basically they're saying, I'm not rich. I'm going to live paycheck to paycheck. And eventually I'm going to be homeless. That's what they're thinking. When they say that, that's the energy they're sending out. Nobody wants $1 million. That's crazy. Wait a minute. That was my whole life. I just wanted $1 million, right? Nobody wants $1 million. You want freedom. You want joy, you want love, you want these things, and you think money is going to bring that to you. Now, don't get me wrong. Money makes things a lot easier, okay? It does, but that's not the solution. The solution is to get those, to focus on the real things that you want, and then the universe, the biggest conspiracy in the world is the universe will conspire to give you everything that you're thinking. And it's amazingly effective.
I totally agree with you. I completely agree with you. And it's kind of funny that I've been really starting to watch my thoughts here these last couple of days. Like I heard from someone, they're like, you really, really have to watch your thoughts. And it's something that I needed reminded. Like I needed to be reminded. And then hear you saying that again is just kind of like this affirmation that needs to happen. And when you're saying the universe conspires to give you everything you want, you are 100% correct. I talk about in my show about this manifestation. There was this one time where, and this was my ultimate kind of one where I didn't have the means or the money to go to Costa Rica, but for some reason I wanted to go to Costa Rica. It was my goal. I wanted to go there. And I was with some friends and they're like, hey, let's go somewhere. And I'm like, let's go to Costa Rica. They're like, no, we don't want to. I said, well, I'm going. 2 weeks later to that day, I get an email. Subject headline is Costa Rica. It was an old client of mine said, hey, can I fly you to Costa Rica, pay for all your food, your expenses, your flight, everything, if you do some work for me here? Yeah, for sure. So we are the creators. We are. When you say, the kingdom of God is within us, it is. And we forget that. We are being governed, just like you govern a car so it can't go too fast. You govern us so we can't create.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's amazing. I was brought up on the East Coast, and hey, you got to go to college, and then you got to work in get a job and work your way up to management, whatever. And that's the goal, everything. But I worked in corporate America, and every company I worked for, I only worked for a few companies. I keep jobs for a long time, and I rose up to the top of every company, and I created new things for those companies. And then I finally left corporate America and started my own business with a couple partners, and we were doing amazingly successful. I'd put on my vision board that I want when I worked for the company. I want this. I wanted all these things. And then the last thing I put on there, and I giggled when I wrote it, is that I want to be the CEO of my own company. And I didn't even know what a CEO did. Okay. I just knew it was like, all right, it's one of the top guys. Right. And then 5 years later, I found myself in my office in my new kind of company that I was running, balancing the books for the month, right? Just closing out some jobs. I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm the CEO of my own company, right? And it was really, really interesting. And so then I said, I want more time. I need more time because my research and stuff into conspiracies and stuff, I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you ask for. You know what happened?
Went out of business?
I got insomnia. I literally couldn't sleep. So now
that makes even more sense.
I had an extra 5 or 6 hours every day, right? That's like, I go to bed at like midnight. I get up at like 4, right? That gives you a lot of time. I was like, wait a minute, come on. I like sleeping. And so then I said,
I was in a coma. No.
Yeah. No. Then I said, I want more time. I want more freedom. I want more time. And I ended up shortly after that being ousted pretty much from my own company. I had to walk away because of my conspiracy research that was literally interfering with our business. And my partner, one partner couldn't give a crap. The other partner, total blue pill. And he's just like, yeah, you can't do this. I was going after like the lawyers that were involved with the Beachy School in Connecticut, who happened to be like the lawyers for some of our clients. And it was like the crossover was just getting crazy. and so I walked away from it all. And by the way, I was making lots of money, right? But when I walked away, the only thing I had was my app and I said, should I walk away? This was the third time. I didn't mention the first two, but I went home and I paid my bills that night. And the money that came in from the app literally covered my bills down to $1, down to the last dollar. And I said, you know what? If I go away and I do this more, I can make a little bit more. So I walked away from tons of money to no money to spread this message. Okay. And the amount of, here's the thing. I have more free time than I've ever had, but I'm also busier than I've ever been at the same time. It's crazy. I don't know how it works. It's like I'm in the Matrix or something. But like I work all the time, but I also find that I have lots of free time. It's amazing. Like right now I'm working. I'm in my office, if you will, in my home. So I didn't have to commute into New York City on a death train and on a subway and then a vertical subway. And I'm here. So it's amazing. I don't even know what today is. What is today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, right?
Today's Tuesday.
The days of the week don't matter. The days of the week don't matter. The time of the day doesn't matter. Because life is just amazing. It's just amazing. There you go. A little excited. This is my fourth interview today.
you followed your dream. You believed in yourself and you went for it and you just walked away. And you did it. A lot of people can't walk away from that rat race, because they're locked in. They're part of that. They're a cog in that wheel.
Dude, every logical thing would say, don't do it. Everything that was ever taught in my entire life would say, don't do it. Thank God I said my father passed away years ago. Thank God he wasn't alive because I wouldn't have left. I would have stayed. I would have stayed and I would have not done this and I would have been miserable. I mean, who knows that what I'd be. But again, this is the most important message. Why the lie? Because when you unplug from the heliocentric matrix, you free your mind from the global control. On my app, this is my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. There's a little question mark button right there, and when you click that, up come the frequently asked questions. And my favorite question right there is why the lie. There's a whole bunch of videos. The app's $3, one-time charge. One-time charge for the 95% of the app. There's some social media stuff on there and advanced features that is $11 a year. All right, so relax, everybody. But the why the lie videos are phenomenal. They'll blow your mind. They'll literally change your life. And there's all sorts of stuff on here. Like where does the sun go? That's always a big one.
That is a huge one.
Yeah. Where does the sun go is amazing. And there's so much information on there that will help you teach yourself and teach others. Like, someone's like, you're trying to tell somebody, you can open up the images section, which is this button right here, this color wheel, right? You hit that images and you say, I want to say Southern flight routes. There's one from Argentina. So I'm just going to type in.
I was going to bring this up. About the flight routes, Yeah.
I'm going to type Argentina, right? So check this out. From New Zealand to Argentina, it goes from here across the equator to San Francisco, then across to Houston, Texas, then back down across the equator to Argentina, right? On a flat Earth, it just goes New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina. Okay? Which one makes sense? Now, check this out. In the north, right? In the north, top half of the ball is the north. And any two airports in the north, there's thousands of airports. Any two airports in the north, there's your origin at one and destination to the other. There is 0 flights that will take you below the equator. No matter where you're going, you can go from Mexico to Italy. It will never go below the equator. It'll just take its great circle route. They try to fool you with that nonsense. But there are 0 flights in the north that will cross to the south. But in the south, all the long flights cross. They cross the equator. Why? Why? Because the answer is because all the northern flights are in this circle. So you can draw lines wherever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the southern flights, if you want to go from here to there, you got to cross the equator. Right?
Interesting. Yes.
The outer
you always
lands.
you always have to cross the equator then if you're going in the south.
Right.
Unless you're flying someplace really close like Australia and New Zealand, that's just
that's just that is but what is close is that what I just showed you. Argentina is right here, right? Here's Antarctica, and here is there's Argentina, and here's New Zealand. It's the Great Circle Route is here. This is the Great Circle Route. Okay, it's just right there. Right. But it goes all the way up, all the way down, right? You know what the Globers say about that? Nothing. They won't address it. They won't address it at all. You know what Globers say? Flat Earthers will never address the sunset over the ocean. Flat Earthers will never talk about the seasons. Flat Earthers will never do this. Flat Earthers will never do that. We do it all. They just say we don't, right? And people are like, oh, Flat Earthers will never do that. That must mean that they're wrong. How about stop listening to anybody? Don't listen to me. Look, think. Use your own mind. There's so much information out there. It's ridiculous.
Okay. So let's, if you can quickly sum up, what about the sun? Tell me about the sun. How does it dip below the horizon? Or is it just that it's moving so far away from us that we lose sight of it?
It's a great question. What about the sun? What sun are you talking about? The SON or the SUN? Because they're both the same in my book.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
Tell me something about the Son of God that you cannot say about the sun in the sky. The light of our world. It brings life, feeds us, is our savior. Imagine if the sun didn't rise for months and then all of a sudden it rose. What would you say? My savior, you're here, right? You're watching the sunset. What? How about this? The sun travels in between the tropics, in and out. 6 months into the Tropic of Cancer, 6 months out to the Tropic of Capricorn. On the 21st of December, it dies and it stops traveling out. And it stays there for 3 days. And on the 25th, it rises again and starts coming back in. Isn't that weird? All right. If you and I were at the beach watching the sunset and we're 100 yards apart, you're going to see the sun walking on the water, that glare on the water, and it's going to come right to your feet at the water's edge. I'm going to see a glare coming on to my feet, right? I look over at you. I don't see the line over there. I see the line over here. So you could say that I'm having a personal relationship with the sun.
Okay.
And so are you. And the sun, what's it doing? It's walking on the water.
It's walking on water. That's where I was thinking as well.
Yeah. So how does the sun set over the ocean? That is a big one. And let's discuss it. And that way, when a Glober goes, no flat earther will ever talk about that, just say, no. Dave Weiss did. Flat Earth Dave did. By the way, follow me on X. My new name on X is Flat Earth Dave X. Flat Earth Dave X.
I apologize. We jumped right into this. I never said, tell everyone where they can find you and a little bit about yourself.
You can find everything at flatearthdave.com. Everything's at flatearthdave.com. All my socials are there. My YouTubes are there. Everything's there. Follow me there. You want to get me on an interview, you can contact me there. You want to find the app, you can find the app there. Or you can just go down, scroll way down until you see a big picture of me and it says Crash Course. Click that and watch those videos. Turn off Netflix for a week or a month or forever and watch those videos and your life will change. Your life will change forever. All right. So let's talk about the sun. As I'm stalling, as I'm looking for my sun video.
Not a problem. While you're doing that, I would say, another videos that I have seen before as well that really have helped me along this are by Sean Hibbler as well. Next Level or On the Level. It's
I'm in those. You realize that I'm in two of them. I think the Next Level and Level with Me.
I have not seen awesome. Level with Me yet. Yeah, you
got to watch Level with Me. That's a killer one too. And then Sean came out with another one, Old World Order. Have you seen that yet?
I have not. I actually had him on the show here just before when he was working on it, but I have not seen that one yet.
Old World Order, and you can find it on my website. There's a big banner right near the top. It says Old World Order. Watch that, and game over. The rabbit hole is so deep. And Sean is actually just about to finish another movie, which is going to cause a tidal wave of craziness with Stu Peters called, what's the name of it? It's about the Jews. Okay. It's about the Jewish takeover of the world. It's not a racist movie at all. It's just looking at the facts, and it's crazy. It's coming out in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be on Stu Peters Network, and it is amazing. Stu Peters helped put out Old World Order too. You know what they say? Careful how far you go down the rabbit hole, because sometimes the T is silent.
Okay,
all right,
got it.
All right. So that's just listen, whatever you can. Nothing. I don't hold anything back. All right. So what do we have here? We got a guy on a pier. It looks like he's fishing, right? Yeah. And there's a boat, and there's water, and the sun. What is your programming? You experience the world, so you can look at this and say, is the pier higher or lower than the water?
Well, you would assume the pier is higher than the water.
Of course, because the water would be over the pier, and then the boat is on the water, and the sun, is that higher than the boat? Sure, right?
Yep.
And okay, where's the skyscraper?
There is no skyscraper.
There's a 50-story building in this picture.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No. Do
you see it now?
Okay. There we go.
And we're looking straight up at it too.
Okay.
So we're in the street in New York City, and we're looking straight up at a 50-story building. All right. So I'm just showing you that belief and perception, unless you know what you're looking at, unless you can touch it and measure it, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. Right. Yep. You look at the moon and go, it's spherical. I could show you that it's not spherical. Right. It might be, but if it's reflecting sunlight, it certainly isn't, because there's no hot spot. Right. So if we're looking up and it's noon and the sun is in the sky, and the sun's moving away. So now it's, let's say it's 1:00 now. Let me ask you a question. Is the sun below the horizon, or is it beyond the building?
Beyond the building, of course.
It's beyond the building. It's not below the horizon. How could we see the sun again?
If we stood up on the building, on top of the building.
Right. Or if we went backwards and got a better angle to see it. Right. So if we went backwards, we could see it. So just remember, the sun went beyond the building, but it was still in the sky, right? And that building was 50 stories over your head. So here's a perspective grid, and here we got a guy looking, and his eye level's right here. And so I'm going to throw this mountain in here, and let's just say the top of this mountain is 3,000 feet above his eyes, okay? So he's looking up at the mountain, and there's the sun. You can see it, and the sun is moving away. Now, is the sun below the horizon, or is it beyond the mountain?
It's beyond the mountain.
And now can we see it again? We go backwards. So if I go backwards, we'll just go backwards like 20 miles. This mountaintop is 3,000 feet above his eye line. Flat or globe, okay? It's still 3,000 feet above his eye line. And you can see the sun now. He has a better angle of the sun. So the sun's going to go away. Is it below the horizon, or is it beyond the mountain?
Now, that's more difficult now.
It's beyond the mountain, but the mountain looks to be, ready, at your horizontal eye zone.
Okay. Yeah.
Your horizon, right? It gets worse. We had clouds in here, right? And you don't even need clouds, because the atmosphere over 30, 50, 100 miles becomes opaque. It just becomes opaque, and you can't see. So the clouds are not going down. Perspective is making them merge into this horizontal eye zone. So when the sun above the light phenomena that we call the sun, goes away, it goes beyond this line. This line is the top of the mountains, 3,000 feet above his eyes. It's also the clouds, 5,000 feet above the mountain. So this line that looks like it's at his eye level, he perceives it to be his eye level, is thousands and thousands and thousands of feet above his eye level. So when something in the sky goes beyond, it goes beyond it. It's blocked by it. And I don't care if you have the Hubble telescope, you're not going to be able to zoom it back in like you can with a boat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right?
You're correct.
Yeah, because a boat is below the layer of the sky. So that's how things go away. The sunlight is local, it's small, and it's just circling around the Earth. It's circling around the Earth, right? If we look at this is street lights. Now we know they're all the same height. We know the street's level. This is the sun. It's going away. It's just going away, and it goes beyond this horizontal eye zone. This could be 10,000 feet above his eyes. It's just going beyond it, like it went beyond the building. And it takes its light with it. That's how it works, right? So here is this is my my kitchen. This is the short version. This line right here, you see this string?
Yeah. Yes.
This is level.
Okay.
It's a level line, right? It's the same line that's right here. This line is being filmed from a celestial point of view. We're up high. This is the same thing with the camera on the table. Okay. So as this moves away, it looks like it's going down. Let me see if I have the full version. It'd be better to show you the full version. Where is it? Where is it? Kitchen. I think it's somewhere in here. So if you look at the top one on the right, that one is, there it is. So let me show you that.
Okay.
I got it. Boom. All right. So this line here is level. I'm just running the line across it from our celestial point of view. This is this could be mountains or clouds or whatever, but this light, the sun, is above it, and I'm just running it along this level line, and just showing you that it's level. And I'm going to show you now. I have a camera on the counter on the other end where I started. Now I'm going to show you the point of view from that camera. Same thing, same thing. This is the point of view from that camera. Look at this line. It looks like it's going down, doesn't it?
It completely does.
And does it go? Look, it's setting below that mountain, that piece of cardboard.
It appears to be setting below.
And when I zoom in, it's even worse. Look at this. This line is level. And it looks like it's at your eye level. It's just going beyond it. But I just showed you that it's level.
Yeah.
Right? This is a sunset. The sun is going away. What's it going behind right here? That could be a mountain that we just can't see the light off of, or it just could be the atmospheric deck of opacity. It's going beyond it. It's not going below anything. It's going beyond it. The reason Globers say that we won't address this is because their brains, and I use that term lightly, can't understand what I just showed you. Right? You're thinking, your brain is going, okay, I'm getting this. This is really hard to process because you were never taught to think like this in school. You were taught to memorize and regurgitate, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And that's how it works. How about that?
Your video shows us all. It shows it all.
So this is just the sun. I filmed this. Just moving across the sky, going away. This line right here is mountains in Pennsylvania. I'm in Connecticut. Okay. These are mountains, right? And it's just going away, and it's going to go beyond those mountains, and it's going to disappear from the bottom up. That's it. Those mountains are well above my camera. This is a drone. I got my drone up in the sky.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And it's just going beyond it, and it's taking its light with it. That's it. Pretty cool, right?
It's really fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
It's really kind of showing you everything.
And people don't take the time to observe the sun. It's hard for them to look at the sun. And we've told, don't look at the sun. And, during eclipse, blind yourself. Don't ever. I tell everybody, stare at the eclipse without sunglasses on. I do it all the time, and my eyesight's better than ever. Okay? It's amazing. It's amazing what the sun will teach you. And this is the sun. Are you falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, or is this just moving away? Because you have to believe you're on a ball. The sun's down there, and you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound.
look how small it is getting to. It's, you know, if this sun is 93 miles, 93,000
93
million miles away,
why is it smaller?
changing? Why is it getting smaller?
Yeah, the Globers will say, put on a solar filter. But, you know, and the thing is, you put on a solar filter, you're blinding yourself. Now, yes, the sun does have glare and everything, but when you put on a solar filter, you can't see the good stuff. You can't see the last stuff. The most important stuff is the very end, right? Because when the sun's moving across the sky, it's moving about, you know, if you look at the sky as a celestial disk, it's moving about 15 degrees per hour. But when it gets to the end, that's the good part. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this can only be filmed when the sky is super clear and dry. So usually it's better when it's cold. Like, you know, I'm freezing my butt out there, I'm warming the batteries on my drone, and I've got it up. So now the sun was up in the sky. It was up here, and it's going down, down, down. Now, if we're on a ball, there's nothing that should stop it from going down. It should just keep on going, and it would set, right? It should keep on going. But it didn't. It went down, 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 and then it stopped right here. Now, my friends over here at the beach, a couple miles away, they saw the sunset 10 minutes ago, but I'm still looking at it, all right? And it sat here. Now, listen, it's a little blurry because I'm super zoomed in here. This was done after filming, right? And it stopped going down. I don't care if it's out of focus. I don't care about any of that. It stopped going down, and it sat here. This is sped up like super fast, all right?
Okay.
And it stopped going down. And what's going on? It's not going down. Are we spinning, or is it, what the hell happened? It just
faded away.
It didn't have enough energy to push any farther. It's moving away at 1,000 miles an hour. And so it just disappeared into the soup of the atmosphere. Things will disappear into the distance. You can't see the Eiffel Tower from New York because it's too small, but because it's there's too much air in the way. The air becomes opaque. So this is just me going back and forth. Now, when I showed this, the Globers freaked out. They're like, CGI. I wish I could do CGI that well, right? And so then I live streamed it. I did it again. I live streamed it. I did it again. I did it 7 times. In the app, there's a whole section with all of these videos in it, and you can see the raw footage. You can see everything. And you can go do it yourself. Go get a drone, freeze your ass off on a super clear day, and you can film this also. But this is I call it the sun fade out. But even more important than the fade out is it's not going down anymore. That absolutely proves that we're not spinning.
Going away.
It's just going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
That is the most compelling, one of the most compelling pieces of evidence I've seen. You know, it's
every piece of evidence is compelling. Every single one is compelling. You only need one, right? And here, give me one proof that we live on a globe, and I'll give you 3 Bitcoins. Okay. Now the Globers will go, oh, put your Bitcoins in escrow, and where's the contract? My word is my contract, my honor. Okay. Everything I've worked my entire life for. Go ahead. Show me a globe proof. Oh, we've shown you globe proofs. Which one? No, well, I don't have to tell you again. Show me a globe proof, any globe proof. What's the criteria? How about reality is the criteria? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Reality is, show me something in reality. Well, let me, the angle to the sky, to the star, Polaris, when you go farther south, Polaris drops down. That works perfectly on a flat earth. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That is something I've always questioned, is not Polaris, but the stars. If we're supposed to be corkscrewing through the universe, shouldn't the night sky be completely changing? Shouldn't that be reflective upon us? Pile driving through this universe like crazy, corkscrewing through this night sky hasn't necessarily changed. There are ancient, ancient sites that still lock on to, like Polaris or Sirius or anything like that. They lock onto it, and there's no change.
Let's talk about that. So here is December, and if you're on this side of the Earth, on the equator, at midnight, you're looking that way at the stars, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're here on the equator. You're standing sideways. You're looking that way up, but that's up for you on the equator, right? 6 months later, it's over here, Midnight is in the opposite direction, and you can see the same stars. Explain that, please. Look at the wall in front of you right now, and tell me if you can see that round thing that's behind your head.
You can't. You cannot.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the best proof right there. Okay. Well, some of the stars are different. Yeah, there's a whole sidereal rotation of the stars, and they're out at different times of day. But there's many of the stars that you can see all the time, like Orion, right?
Yeah.
You can see it all the time, everywhere, all year long. Makes no sense, right? This would be a wall of light right here, and you couldn't see from here any stars in that direction. You can't. You have a wall of light. It's the sun. It's 886,000 miles wide, right? It's blinding you from seeing anything over there. It's giving you daylight.
100%. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, that is like, bam. You know, like that's another mic drop. Again, some more compelling evidence there. It's just like you said. It's all compelling evidence. And okay, I know we're getting closer. Yeah,
we can go a little longer if we need to. If you don't, if
for
you
sure,
want.
for sure. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you brought up stars. Looking at stars, that's a star. Did you know that's a star? Okay, this one is they're playing with the focus a little bit. They want a little bit of right to focus on here, and then when they bring it back, this is it in focus right there. That's total focus, right? So, what are we seeing? What is that? Is that a burning ball of hydrogen? Billions of trillions of miles away? Incomprehensible miles? Here's one in focus.
Wow. No, I've never seen plasma, but if someone said, what is that? I would say that's some sort of plasma.
I think they're angelic, to be honest. I think that stars are angels and they're perfect, which is why they never move. They don't need to move. They're perfect. Okay. We're corkscrewing through space, literally just corkscrewing, spiraling, never to return to where we were before, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year. And none of the stars, right? You know what parallax is when something's closer and farther, when you move, they change their orientation. Never once have two stars ever crossed each other's path. And we're going billions of miles a year. The closest star, 25 trillion miles away. I forgot the math, but they've been charting the stars for thousands of years, and we've gone farther than the closest star, 25 trillion miles away. If we were looking at all of the constellations from that star, 25 trillion miles away, nothing would be the same. Nothing. But everything is the same. Everything is the same. How about this? And this goes back to 9/11, right? So in the Georgia Guidestones, there's a shaft that points towards Polaris, which they now no longer let you look through. Okay, interesting, right?
Well, didn't they destroy? I believe they destroyed the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at. So in the pyramid, I'm just giving you the Glober excuse. They say, when they built the pyramid, it was pointing towards Thuban, a different North Star. And 2,000 years later, we're pointing towards Polaris, and we just happen to live in the time where it's not pointing at nothing, right? What? Right? That's their stupid story. But the Georgia Guidestones had this hole in it, and Polaris was right in the middle of that hole, a little tiny hole. You look at it, Polaris is there all the time, all year long, no matter when you go. We've gone, we filmed it, we did time lapses, right? And then they said, there's no parallax because Polaris is so far away that the 4.5 billion miles a year for thousands and thousands of years doesn't make any difference. It just stays lined up with whatever you have it lined up with, which is stupid. It would literally change in a couple days, right? Yeah. And so we said, but they also say that the Earth is wobbling 1 degree every 76 years. Okay, 1 degree in the sky is 3 full moon widths. Okay, so Georgia Guidestones were built in 1981. They were up for over 40 years. That's more than a half a degree. That's 1.5 moon widths. There's no way Polaris would even be near that hole anymore. It was still there. So we made videos about it. They started going viral. And what happens? Boom. A terrorist blows up the Georgia Guidestones. 3 hours later, bulldozers are there. The entire thing is knocked down, taken away. The time capsule disappears, and there's no investigation.
Yep.
Kind of like 9/11, the steal on 9/11, right? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. They came up with some bullshit story, and then something else happened in the news, and they dropped it. No one's talking about it. No investigation, right? And that's it. That's what I call rock solid proof. They can't have rock solid proof. Rock solid proof.
Now, I got a question here. So when you do time lapse photography, you see the streaks, right? The star streaks, correct?
Mhm.
Now they say that light travels. Light is constant, but it's also traveling. We're seeing light that is, like thousands of years old, something like that.
Cool,
That's coming from
cool
the stars.
story, bro. Cool story, bro.
So if we're moving and the stars are moving, wouldn't we see tracers in the sky? Wouldn't it be one speck, or wouldn't it be a line of this light? Like,
why do we have perfect star trails when the spin of the Earth is the slowest motion, right? We're only spinning once, at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting. It's a different motion. It's 66,000 miles an hour, an unfathomable speed. And then we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And how about this? Let me ask you, in your heliocentric model, do we go around the sun, or does the sun go around us?
Well, technically, we go around the sun in the
That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. And the planets, do they circle the sun?
They circle the sun.
Okay. So my question to you is, our North Star is just lined up with our axis of spin, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You with me?
Yep.
Do other planets share the same exact axis that we have?
I actually don't know. I would say no. They shouldn't.
No, they don't. They point in all different directions, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember where I have. I'm looking for something, so I'm kind of stalling.
No problem.
Where the hell did it go? Oh, here it is. All right, so we have all the planets here, right? This is not the scale, of course. All right.
Yeah.
And so here we go. Here are all the planets. Not to scale. Freaking out. So if this is the Earth and Polaris is up there at the end, follow that line. That's our that's Polaris, right? You with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is lined up there. These other, like Mercury, its axis is pointing that way, and this one is pointing this way, and this one is that way, and so they all have their own axis of rotation. None of them are lined up. That's officially what they say. So we have our own axis of rotation. You with me?
Yeah.
You with me? So Polaris is only important to Earth. It's a random star for everyone else, right?
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Tell me this then. Why do all of the other planets orbit around Polaris? They all circle Polaris. The sun circles Polaris. The moon circles Polaris. All of the planets circle Polaris.
That is fascinating. That is extremely fascinating. Look at those like Mandelas, those
remember Spirograph?
Did you Spirographs? Of course
they don't sell that. They don't sell that anymore. Why? It's making kids think. It's making kids see stuff. They're making kids understand retrograde motion, right? It's making they don't want you knowing about the flower of life. They don't want you knowing sacred geometry. Do you remember your sacred geometry class or your vortex mathematics class in high school or in college?
Of course not.
They didn't teach you vortex mathematics? What the hell's vortex mathematics, Dave? Look it up on YouTube. There's a guy, you'll see him. He's got a whiteboard and he talks about vortex mathematics. Mind-blowing, fascinating. Because if they taught that in school, people might become smart. People might start figuring shit out.
Okay, so then I have one last question before we call it here.
Okay.
What is Polaris?
Polaris, the lights that Polaris. There's a lot of people that say that Polaris is God's throne over the center of the Earth. I don't know what it is, but it's close. When you go up in an airplane, the moon is tiny if you ever see it at all, and the stars there's very few of them. We launched a balloon in Arizona at nighttime, super clear, high def cameras looking up, and we could see the Milky Way and everything. And so you figure as it goes up, higher and higher, it's going to just get clearer and clearer, and the stars are going to get brighter and brighter. 50, 60, 70,000 feet, there was no stars. They all disappeared. What does that mean? What does that mean?
What does that?
Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
can't explain it, but the heliocentric model doesn't allow that. It would just get brighter and brighter and clearer, and it doesn't.
Yes.
Right? Because you're getting above any atmosphere. You're getting above anything that would be obfuscating your view. Amazing, right?
That is extremely amazing, and it should be somewhat disturbing for some people because, you know, this information that you're providing and you know, like the service that you're providing for everyone, you know, we really need to look at it and quit. You know, for those people who think this is a big joke and it's like, globe, you know, or flat earthers, you know, like, and the model that they always show us is this flat earth plane floating in space and then all these other planets, like that model that you showed me with all the other planets, but then we just had the flat earth. That is like, oh, explain the other planets then. Well, no, that is not what the flat
which
earth
planets?
is.
The ones that Disney or NASA shows you? Because, you know, one wait, hold on. There's a joke in there. I just thought of that. Disney or NASA, one of them is a children's animation company, and the other one is the other one is Walt Disney.
So
okay,
yeah,
whatever.
There
There's a joke in there. All right. So let me. I got to show you. Listen, we're having a good time. I got to show you more. You got a couple more minutes.
Of course,
show you something
of
else.
course. Yeah.
So this is the Gleason's map. This is our map. This is where you live. Okay, everybody, wake up. This is where you live. All right. So let me ask a question. If the Earth is a globe and the sun is the only light lighting up the globe, no matter how you spin or twist, how much of the globe can be lit if you're in a pitch black area with just one source light? How much of it? What percentage?
I would say less than half.
Well, it'd be 50. It would be right around 50.
Okay.
Where, you know, there'll be a little gray area.
But the gray area, that's what I'm going with. Yeah.
You can't light up more. But this is on the Weather Channel. This is what they showed. They said on this day, there's the Earth is 70% of the Earth is in light, which is 99% of the population. Right? It was like this weird thing where, because everyone lives in a certain area, right? So this is time and date. And on August 13th, California at this time, when the sun is right here over Africa, California is just getting sunset. South America, it's all in the light, right? All in the light, all in the light, all of Russia in the light. The only thing that's in the dark is Australia and these islands over here, okay? So this is real world observations. This is a Mercator map. That it's not representing reality. It's just showing you the light patterns. So let's look at it, the light patterns, if we can recreate this light pattern on a sphere and on a flat Earth, all right? So we have our flat Earth map here, and we're going to put the sun right where it was, right there over Africa, right? We're going to turn it on, and we're going to lift it up, and we're going to say, can we create that area of light? Look, South America's in the light. America, California is just in the dusk, and here's Australia, and those islands are in the dark. Okay, we've matched it. We can do that.
Yeah.
Right? Now we have a globe tilted at 66.6 degrees, as it's supposed to be, right? And watch carefully here. There's pink because Australia. We're going to put Australia in the dark. So Australia's in the dark. And we're going to walk around to the other side. Houston, we have a problem. All of South America and America is in the dark.
It is.
All of it. So let's spin it out and put California right at the dusk line. So we're going to spin it out. There's California right there. South America's in the light. Good. We're good.
Yep.
Right. And now we come back over here, all of Europe and Russia. And so I'll show you all of this as we spin it out. All of that should be in the light, but it's not.
But it's not.
But it's not. So why is it that a physical demonstration we can recreate this perfectly, but on a ball, you can't?
Again, compelling
Another
evidence here.
compelling, perfect proof. Okay.
Yep.
Another one.
And I gotta say, so everybody who is listening to the podcast, you got to check out the YouTube and Rumble as well, because definitely on Rumble this won't get shadow banned at all.
Yeah. And check out flatearthdave.com. There's a banner up there. It says interviews. I've done 1,300, I've told you. And I've done some big ones recently. Roseanne Barr, Jim Brewer, Stu Peters, InfoWars. It's coming around. People are waking up. And I got some other big ones coming. So by the time this comes out, it might be old news. The whole world might be woken up by then.
Fair enough. Yeah.
For like a month, right?
I know. Maybe I can speed it up a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, because Jim Brewer is a hero. He's we need more people that are in the celebrity limelight to actually speak up like that. And Roseanne Barr too. Fantastic. I saw her recently on what is that, the High Wire with Del Bigtree as well.
Yeah. Roseanne, a lot of people are like, she's crazy. Yeah, she's crazy. She's awesome too.
A lot of people who are dubbed crazy end up being right.
Yeah.
It's funny how that is.
Roseanne, actually, let me a quick story about Roseanne, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, of course.
And I forget what year it was. I was at a music festival called Gathering of the Vibes. It's this camping festival we go at. And I'm walking around. There's 35, 40,000 people there. And just all's well, it's afternoon. And all of a sudden, I hear Roseanne Barr's voice on stage. I'm like, I didn't even know she was here. And she was running for president, right? And she got up there and just like, fuck the elite. They're pedophiles. They're dead. She's just throwing it out there, talking about chemtrails. She's just everything. She just threw it all out there. And I'm standing there going, maybe I should speak out more, because I was kind of censoring what I would say, when I would talk to people. And that literally was a turning point in my philosophy on how much I should say. Literally, she took my filter off right there at that very moment. And then I was on her podcast and she loved it.
Fantastic. That is awesome. Oh, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this topic is so fascinating. It's not that I'm good. It's the topic is so fascinating. And almost every podcast I go on, it's their number one viewed show. Almost every podcast. It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to that. We'll see. You got to compete against, I don't know if you know who Gary Wayne is. Gary Wayne is my number one on this one so far.
How many views? How many views did you get?
I am at, I believe I'm at 40,000.
Yeah, we'll blow by that one. No problem.
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that. Dave, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. This has been fantastic, and I know we only just touched the surface, pretty much, so to speak. But one last time, tell everybody where they can find you, and tell them about your app as well.
flatearthdave.com. The app is amazing. Check it out. It's $3 one-time purchase. You get all the information. You'll be able to have the frequently asked questions. There's books section on it. I mean, the books section is amazing, and you have different categories. There's a whole shopping area. There's a homeschool section. There's featured other content creators. There's a biblical section, and then the old world section. Don't forget Old World Order. It's on the app, and you can also find it on my website. Make sure you watch that by Sean Hibbler. Search for videos like hey, where you said it was on InfoWars. I could just type in info wars. Let's see if that works, and then hit search. And boom, there's InfoWars videos. They'll pop up.
And that's $3, only $3, and I homeschool my daughter. So you got a homeschool section. There we go.
How old is your daughter?
She is 8 years old, turning 9.
So dude, you got to get this new book. It's called Who Said the Earth is Flat? It's in the book section. And the website is the acronym for that, WSTEIF.com. So WSTEF, Who Said the Earth is Flat? It's amazing. And there's a download where you can get a digital book for an iPad or on a computer. It's phenomenal. It's literally one of the greatest books. And it's a story about a flat earth dad. And his kid is in school learning about heliocentrism and NASA and everything. And he didn't know what to do. And so they kind of came up with a plan. He's like, well, why is the earth flat? And he goes, well, let's see what God said. And he showed him the Bible. And then he showed him, they did tests together. They actually went out and did tests. It's an amazing story. I loved it. I read it. Fantastic. And I was like, this is a fantastic book. So you got to check that out. I actually did an interview with them. I'm going to be airing it soon
I'll definitely have to watch that.
Yeah, it's good. And they also have a physical book. I highly recommend that. I actually have the physical book. It's over there. And it's amazing. So the app has a ton of stuff on it, including, because when you become a flat earther, it's kind of lonely. You kind of lose some friends, right? So this shows me, watch this. These are the flat earthers around me, right? These are the flat earthers around me. I can click on any one of them, look at their profile. I can message them. I can send out a group message, right? Worldwide, people, once you go flat, you never globe back, right? So where are you located?
I am actually living in Mexico. I'm in
Mexico. Beautiful.
In Campeche, Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Yucatan.
You're in the Yucatan. There's not many people there.
So that looks like Merida. The one on the top left, that looks like Merida.
Are you like here?
So yeah, that I'm down a little bit more, but on that.
Are you in Quinta on the Cancun side?
No, put your hand back. Put your hand. Yeah.
All right. So you're in Mexico. The reason I was asking is because I spend the winter in Mexico over in Quintana Roo.
Quintana
Roo. Yeah. And it's beautiful. But look at all the people. These are flat earthers. They're everywhere, right? And nobody leaves flat Earth because it's a cult, right? Nobody leaves flat Earth. And it's worldwide. So, and this is growing more and more and more. And you can find people. You can. There's a meetup maker on here, and it's phenomenal. If you don't want to miss a meetup, go. You click the meetup maker, right? Let me click that. Click the meetup maker, and then if you click the bottom one right here, it says alert me of local meetups. And I set mine for 1,000 miles, but set yours for 100 miles, 500 miles, and anytime anyone sets up a meetup, you will see. That you'll get an email with that meetup. Here, sort by date. Watch this, and I'm going to switch to November. And there's 5 meetups in my area, and one of them is mine. I'm going to be at Jim Brewer in Long Island, New York, with Sean Hibbler, and we're going to have a little dinner. Anyone who wants to join us, we're going to have dinner beforehand and hang out, have a couple drinks, maybe. You never know.
I saw that event. I saw that event. I'm like, that's going to be a fantastic event. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, and come and see the show, and it'll be a good time.
Fantastic.
So there you go. So the app does all that. If you want to go on the dating thing, where you basically say, all right, I'm interested in women in this age group and within this radius, and then you can swipe and say hello. It's better than any dating site because you have more in common with them than any other site would ever put you in. That's $11 a year. But you can refer the app to people, get 11 points. The subscription's free. You also earn cryptocurrency. Do you know about our cryptocurrency that's on here?
No, I do not.
So we started Dome Coin. I'm not going to, then you can just click this button right here. And we did an airdrop to anyone that put their wallet address in on September 11th. You got 33 million Dome, right? Which was worth $10 back then. And now it's worth almost $200. It's worth almost $200. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Since September 11th, it went up to $200. And so
if I would have joined, I would have been making money. Yeah.
A $3 app, you get $9 worth of crypto. You get 1.5 million Dome, which is worth like $9 today. All right. So wait, you pay $3 for the app and you get $9 in crypto? It's weird. Isn't that a little weird? So again, last thing on the app, click the spider web button, and right here are the instructions for the app. When you click that, there's instructions on how to set up the friend finder, everything, and there's a long video that goes through every single function of the app. So if you really want to be a pro at the app, and just watch that video, and then you'll be like, oh, that makes sense, right? And then if you don't know what a button does, you long press it, and it tells you what the button does. Isn't that cool?
Nice and easy.
But
user
you know how
friendly.
many people say I never knew that? Because when you first set up the app, about 2 minutes after you set it up, a pop-up comes up that says long press any button to find out what it does, and everybody just X's it out without reading it, right? And then they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
It's like, boom, swipe it away. Yeah, next.
Yeah.
I just want to get into this.
Read the pop-ups. I made them for you. All right, that's
Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Great conversation. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, everyone, that was Flat Earth Dave. And I hope you opened up your eyes, opened up your mind and maybe closed you off to that globe. There's a lot of compelling evidence, and I'm buying the app. That's my next purchase tonight. $3. What is that? That's nothing. That's a cheap coffee. So why don't you do it? I'm going to do it. And like I said, a part of you has to die for the new you to grow. You have to say goodbye to some of those things, to those fantasies. And that's really what they are. There's just fantasies. We're being told this story. We've been spun this narrative. And like you said, Disney's the one that's, showing us all this. Have you ever been to outer space? Have you seen the globe yourself? No, I haven't. Have you? No one. Other than astronauts. And that's something we didn't get into, is how deep are these astronauts into this? Where is space being filmed? The Red Hot Chili Peppers, space is filmed in a, Hollywood location. So let's go with that. And with that, everyone, I want to say good night. Keep your curiosity wandering, keep the light lit, and always find your way home.
I look forward to our next adventure together as we navigate the mysteries that lie ahead. Until our paths cross again, keep your curiosity wandering, keep the light lit, and always find your way home.